Hello everybody, Dr. Dan here. Many students when they first enter their doctoral program wonder about their dissertation. Even though the dissertation may not be until years later, they have every right and every bit of uh, reason to be curious about how the dissertation will be, what the process will be like, and what topic they may want to investigate, and so on. So what I thought would be rather helpful for you is just to give you an overview of what to expect when a dissertation comes, and perhaps even more importantly, at the beginning of your program, maybe some things to consider. So first off, rather than providing you a PowerPoint presentation or something like that, I thought it would be just rather maybe a bit more interesting just to sit here and have a bit of a conversation and simply use this picture that you have in front of you. So what we have here is actually a picture that I took in Israel of a wheat field. You can use this picture as an idea and as an idea for a research topic. So let's go ahead and begin this way. At the beginning of your program, you may wonder, well, what am I going to research? Or you may have some ideas in mind. So as an example, using this picture, someone might say, well, I'd like to go ahead and investigate some of the, let's say, topography, or some of the features, maybe even general, some of the features of this particular picture. So going back to the field of psychology, that might be equivalent to saying, I want to investigate behavior. Well, behavior is a very broad topic. Just like you might want to investigate something in this picture, it's a very broad topic. There's a lot of things you can investigate here. So as we look at this picture, we can investigate the hillsides, the plant life, the agriculture, we can investigate perhaps the environment itself. And then for my example, there's the wheat field. We might want to investigate the wheat field, and I'm going to delve into that particular topic a bit further. So again, going back to the field of psychology, that might be the equivalent now of saying, well, I want to investigate behavior, but I want to investigate behavior in the workplace. Okay, so that for those individuals that might be, let's say, entering the field of industrial organizational psychology, that's something that they may want to investigate and probably would investigate, and that is something to do with psychology in the workplace. So going back to our picture ahead of us, we're investigating the wheat field. Well, they're still very broad topics, even though they might not seem like it already now. Maybe going back to the field of psychology, not even just, let's say, behavior in the workplace, but let's say perhaps behavior of leaders in the workplace. So maybe that's now a little bit more equivalent. So let's go back to our wheat field. Within this picture, if you want to investigate this wheat field, so we might start considering everything from rainfall and yield. In other words, once that wheat field is harvested, how much wheat will they get actually, let's say, per acre. You might want to look at bugs or other plant life, weeds and such. Might want to look at soil composition. So there's all sorts of things that we can still investigate within this wheat field. Now, going back to our topic of investigating leadership in the workplace, same thing. We can investigate leadership styles. We can investigate a whole slew of things: training of leadership, personalities, performance, all sorts of things we can investigate of leaders. So what we will perhaps do is, let's say, authentic leadership. It's a particular leadership style. So let's say we want to investigate authentic leadership. Going back to our picture now, that would be the equivalent to saying, well, let's go ahead and investigate the yield of this particular wheat field. And we'll take it a step further, because we're conducting research. We want to maybe look at maybe a simple design might be a correlational design. So we want to look at the relationship between soil composition and yield. So in other words, what kind of minerals, what kind of all sorts of things might be within that soil, and in turn, what is the relationship then with how much wheat is actually harvested per acre? in the field of psychology, and again in a workplace, in our example, now we're looking at leadership, and particularly we are looking at authentic leadership, and now perhaps we might want to look at the relationship between authentic leadership and turnover intentions. Okay, that happens to be a subject that one of my colleagues investigated in her dissertation, and it turned out to be a very fascinating topic. So now you can see, using first off this example in this picture, you can see how we've taken a very broad area, which in this turn is mountains and valleys and plant life and all these other things, and we've really narrowed it down to a very specific topic. And then using that, the field that we wanted to address, and that's no pun intended, but our field in this case is not a wheat field, but our field is industrial organizational psychology, and we narrowed that down to leadership, and particularly a specific type of leadership, so authentic leadership and its relationship to turnover intentions. So that is a process that you will go through over many months and years as you're going through your program. So finally, by the time you reach your program, you will ideally have a very specific topic like that. And that takes time, it takes effort. What I would encourage you to do in the beginning of your program is perhaps simply start thinking about a general topic you might want to investigate. Using our example, that would be, again, the mountains, the field, the valley, whatever. And then slowly, as you start reading the research, you will find that a certain area of that field, if you will become rather, you'll become rather interested in it. And then you will further focus more and more. So by the time, let's say you're maybe a year out before your dissertation, you've got that topic fairly narrowed, and then we will begin working on that to really narrow it down, so that way once you enter your dissertation, you're ready to go, and you already have research you've read, you've already have perhaps even an idea of how you're going to assess the information, what measures you use, some of these things, because you will have already read information on that topic. So I hope that helps a bit. I hope that helps you understand the process of choosing a topic, as well as kind of what to expect at various stages of your doctoral program. Once again, I would just encourage you to try not to worry too much about the very specific topic in the beginning of your program, because that will narrow down. I would encourage you to write down ideas as you have them. As you read literature, you will find that many ideas will come to mind, but you'll forget about them soon after what you've read, so jot it down. You may have, like myself, I had 50, 60, 70 ideas that I developed over the first few years of my coursework, and then finally by the time I entered my dissertation, I had chosen one of those and then really narrowed it down to my particular topic. Thank you very much. I hope this helped, and I look forward to working with you throughout your program.